Hello and welcome back to the first episode. Well, welcome back. What am I saying? I've already messed up the intro. Anyway, welcome back to. I just did it again. Right, we're not doing cuts. We're keeping this in. Welcome to the very first episode of the brand new EUR Let's Play, and I think I have the privilege of actually releasing the very first one as well, which is really quite the honour. So I want to say thank you to the EUR team for sharing this build with me. This is the most recent beta. It might have a couple of tweaks in it compared to the next one, which is going to be released, which will be the actual production version, I believe, tomorrow. So I'm recording this the day before. This is actually my second attempt at recording this. My first attempt, gameplay-wise, it went really well. And then I was like, just check the sound before I post it. And the sound was a complete disaster. It was entirely muted. I had a couple of weird things happen with my PC today. It decided to completely sign me out of Steam. That was another thing. I spent ages trying to figure out why I couldn't get the mod working. And it turned out that the entirety of Med 2 wasn't working because I wasn't signed in on Steam. Like, Steam never signed you out, so I have no idea how that happened. But anyway, it did. Got that all sorted. I was like, great, we can hop straight into this. I was planning on doing like 3 hours of recording, just absolutely smashing it out tonight. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not going to happen because of the time spent doing the root causing of that. I'm not going to admit how long it took me to realise I wasn't signed in on Steam, but it wasn't the first thing I checked, safe to say, at least. But anyway, so got it all done. Did the first episode. It ended up being about an hour and 15 minutes. And yeah, there was no sound at all because it had also decided not to put any sound through my headset. And I was so focused on speaking the entire time and providing commentary because I can't multitask for the life of me. I haven't even picked a faction yet because I can't multitask. We've reached that point. We're not even playing Gondor. We are going to, in fact, be playing Blue Crag. And I've already lost my train of thought. So yeah, can't multitask. I was so focused on providing the commentary that I didn't notice there was no actual game sound. But if I shut up for 2 seconds, there we go, you got that lovely movie music in the background. This video will almost certainly be demonetized, but I've got 27 subscribers. I'm not going to make any money anyway, so that's fine by me. I saw a patch for music when music becomes a potential problem. So, as I said, we're going to be playing Blue Crags. These are a new Goblin faction which has been added, well, Goblin and Dwarf potentially, depending on what choices we make, that have been added to Ered Luin. So we're going to be a little bit evil, and we're just going to have to see where the campaign takes us. It's been recommended that I play on very hard and hard. I don't know if that's because Perry has very little faith in my ability to win a battle, or if it's just because it's the best way to play the mod, but we'll see. So yeah, huge thank you to the EUR team for letting me do this, and for all the effort they've put into this mod. I'm going to hit start so that it can load while I finish a little bit of waffle. And yeah, in terms of the overview, looks like we've got a lot of strong units, and we've got the Dower Hand choice as well, which if you've played Lotro, you might have a little bit of an idea as to what might be coming along. We'll scroll through this in case anyone wants to have a read through it. I will not be. There we go. So yeah, huge thank you to the EUR team for all the effort they've put into this. They've made an amazing project here. The core people responsible, I believe, are Perry, Kvintus, Prodigy, Chris. I think that's what I'd call the core EUR team. They've had contributions from loads of other people as well. Truly been a massive project. It's amazing how quickly they've managed to get such a big project and community together, so fair play to them. So yeah, I've been quite lucky to be allowed to do this, and I've not been directly involved in the EUR development, but I've been in their dev channels. So in case any of you don't know, I'm actually one of the developers for Gondor at War. I do a lot of the EOP scripting there, so I know my way around modding a little bit. Got a odd idea or two. So I've been in the dev channels trying to offer a little bit of whatever here and there, but 99.999% of the mod I've had pretty much nothing to do with, other than ideas. But seeing it all come together has been really nice. So yeah, it's good to be involved, and it's a really fantastic team as well. Oh, plenty of lovely people on there. So, welcome to EUR V2, which is the Epic Unity rework, not the expanded unit roster mod. Yeah. Not my choice of rebranding, but I can see why they wanted to move away from just being about units. But with all the new content they've added this version. So this is a custom menu that's been added using ImGUI, which is part of the EOP stuff which has been added. Which when I need a little bit of filler, we'll talk about EOP. Okay. I'll keep that subject in my belt for now. So we've got loads of options that we can interact with here. There's so much you can change for replayability. I'm going to focus on just keeping things generic for now, because I just want to be able to show you like the default experience as it's intended to be played. But yeah, there's loads of stuff in here. That's really pretty cool. This will all be worked by Chris. He's the main EOP scripter for EUR, and he's added loads. There's so many little quality of life features I had no idea that he's done. It's been really cool to see. And here you can see the credits. I don't know if they're in any particular order. I imagine not, based on Perry not being first, who's been the lead for the entire time. But yeah, there's a huge amount of people who've been involved in this project in some capacity. So yeah. Let's close this and get into the campaign. So as I said earlier, well, before I do that, I'm just going to scroll through this. You can read it if you'd like to. I have stolen this move from Gallo shamelessly. But, you know, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Either way, he's not here to complain. So yeah, there's plenty of starting lore for the faction. And I can definitely see why they felt the need to add an evil faction over here as well. There's not too much going on in this part of the world otherwise. Like Linden, in particular, always had a reputation for being a bit of a sleepier campaign, and they would ruin if you didn't go evil choice. So, yeah, I think the inclusion of evil here is logical. As I alluded to earlier, this is my second attempt at this campaign, so I've already got a rough idea of where things are, unfortunately, and so on. Yeah, I'm kicking myself a little bit, in all honesty. But, well, I had that audio issue, because I was really quite happy with how my first attempt was going. So I'm going to do basically the same thing again. First off, we want to go into the mines and get them up there. These are quite rich mines, so they're pretty funky to have. And we've got 3 starring armies, and 3 directions really we can push from. Can't really go south because there's not much here, but obviously we've got to be worried about the elves. You saw in the preview that Buzzwordum's around here, and we're going to want that because it's going to be a nice settlement for us to have, and we can push this direction as well. So we've got plenty of expansion opportunities, but just not directly south. So about that. So in terms of the 3 places we can expand in, we conveniently have 3 armies. So in Raftarag, I'm going to take all of these guys. We're just going to empty the whole thing. Come over this way. Go there. And we just want to push the settlement up here. Unfortunately, I do now know whereabouts the settlements actually are. So that's unfortunate. We've already got quite a large amount of units we can recruit at this point. I found myself wanting skirmish infantry the most, so I'm going to prioritise those units, and then we'll get the infantry after, and our diplomat as well. Raftarag is a stronghold, it is not a city, so we can't actually get a spy here, which is unfortunate, but that just means we're going to have to branch out sooner rather than later. This is going to be proper metagaming, but I did it the right way the first time, and well, that didn't cause any problems. But I'm going to say, look, I know there's a settlement here because of the port.
We have
Settlement here. I only completed the first 10 turns though, so I don't know everything that's upcoming. But yeah, I'm gutted, really. but that didn't go in directly as planned. But hey ho, here we are. We got to work with what we got. I'm going to come here. I'm going to build a watchtower. I like a good watchtower. And then put them up here a bit. This I'm not actually counting as metagaming, because you can see the cross on the map preview at the start. Let's have a quick look at our starting generals. So we have Supreme Warlord Gazrip the Savage. That is one hell of a name for the game start. And he's got iron axes. These are legends. They shred. They are really a great unit. And then Husklick the Bloody. Husklick. That's quite a cool name actually. I like that. And he's got a very intense look to him. There's iron javelin throwers. So yeah, these guys also shred. They're a really good unit. They got 6 volleys. Do they have AP? They don't have AP, so like they're not the greatest javelins, but you know, 6 javelins. You just can't go wrong with that. And finally, best till last. This is my favourite of them so far. The Iron Berserkers. These guys, they go in. There's no other way of putting it. So yeah, very cool roster. And we'll go over the units when we're actually in the battle. I think that's everything we can do on the first turn. We're recruiting. We've got stuff built in. And we've moved our armies out. Hopefully this will be a little bit more of a condensed episode. So I'll probably play until I reach about the same point. So, see how we get on. Yeah, the turn times are nice and quick as well. For the first turn, that was really quick. Oh, fantastic! So we know where this settlement is now. Yeah, that's convenient. The one that was by the port that we found earlier. Yeah, that's how I knew. That's not a terrible garrison, actually. Those black bit crossbows could be a pain. Raw Griders are always the scourge of my life. And black bit infantry. I know they're goblins, but they're not terrible. So we'll just siege that out for a second. I just want to get all my armies in place before I forget. This is a nice little spot, because what we can do here, build a watchtower. I actually did that the first time around, and that's how I found that settlement. So that's also not metagaming, I'm going to say. So I haven't done any metagaming, because we can seepers with them as well. There we go. Build 2 rams, but this I would rather fight in the field. It's not the worst garrison I've ever seen. Oh, so I'm just going to have some water. So I really should have raised the microphone then. Oh, hopefully you didn't hear that too much. I'm not a professional YouTuber yet. So, let's do the siege. I'm not going to worry about recruiting those bandits. We've got plenty of chat. So, I've discovered tonight I can't actually speak English. You might be able to guess from the accent. I am actually English. We're in the middle of a heat wave at the moment. So I'm sat here with plenty of water. Luckily it's cooled down as the evening's gone on. But, yeah, it is bloody warm, in all honesty. So, plenty of water's being drunk. And, I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah. I've honestly just completely lost the train of thought. Units! We'll look at the units. So we'll save the best till last. Let's go with the Crag Snagger Maulers. These were called all sorts earlier. I could not get Crag Snagger out for the life for me, so if they end up being called Slag, whatever, that's not my problem. Not my fault. Can't be blamed. And yeah, these are just cheap AP infantry. But cheap AP infantry tends to be one of the most powerful unit types in the mod, so I'm looking forward to that. And I like that there's different skin colours as well. That's quite an interesting touch. I'm wondering if there's like potentially different tribes of goblins or so on. So maybe we'll find out a bit more about that as we go into the campaign, if I actually read anything. Crag Axemen. Again, these guys are the next tier up. They're like your tier 1, I believe. They've got some nice bone lamellar armour and some very menacing looking crowns. I think these were Prodigy Kit Bash, and he's done a good job on those. They got a bit more staying power to them. 5 shields, like quite a strong shield stat actually. So yeah, they're going to be very useful. Slingers, very similar story, a bit more lightly armoured it looks like. Oh, we've not got the armour upgrade. So this is probably the base condition of that line of units. And they're going to be so useful. I like the slingers a lot. Then Wrathwarg Warriors. These guys will literally hide anywhere, so I'm going to have to spam click this a little bit. But this was something which I suggested that they added to the roster a while back, and it was something which Proj kit bashed, which I think he's done a good job of that. They are orcs, which are basically wearing warg skin suits. They're furries, effectively. Orc furries. But jokes aside, they are inspired by the jaguars, of jaguar warriors of like Aztec Mesoamerica, who also happen to be the world's first furries. You'd be pleased to hear. It's the exact same thing, common lineage and everything. I'm glad that this channel's small enough that I probably won't get cancelled for that. But anyway, we'll have a bit more water. Oh, it's warm and I'm speaking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Maybe a bit too fast. So there's going to be a lot of water drank. And yeah, these guys, I think they look very cool. And I like the bone amulet decoration. They got a lot in their lore about just being bloodthirsty savages. I'm all for that. So yeah, very cool unit. And then the best till last, of course, the iron javelin throwers. These are the most elite of the orc units that you get in the roster. Now, I think you only get them if you take the orc choice, not the dour hand one. And yeah, look at those. Like, you know when you just look at a javelin, you're like, even if you don't die from it being thrown at you, you will die from tetanus. That's that javelin. Look at that rust. They do not maintain these well at all. That's just part of the vibe. But these look very cool. I believe they're from DCI Last Alliance, where they were the Bulldogs in that mod, which was, I think they were some sort of Uber Orc, which Tolkien wrote about. Tolkien wrote a lot of weird stuff about the first and second ages, in all honesty. So yeah, they're cool, they exist, but they're not Bulldogs in this universe. It's important to remember. In EUR, these are just like the Uruk equivalent of the Blue Crag, effectively. Gonna have some more water again. So, I was literally talking for about an hour and 15 minutes straight in that previous episode, and that's a long time to be talking. It turns out my voice isn't very well trained for this sort of thing, so I might cut this one a little bit shorter. So we've seen all the units. Now we need to see them in action. I'm going to keep everyone focused on. Let's go for 2 fronts. It'll be a bit audacious. I reckon these guys all there, and then the 2 remaining units. You guys can go on the long flank. I don't normally split my forces in this sort of a siege, but we're going to give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? And now that I've asked that question, we'll find out what the worst that can happen will be, because it's guaranteed to happen now. Alright, so we got our front line. Put our javelins at the front. Skirmishers behind. Orders right on the flank. We're going to run up here, try to get on the flat, where it would be much nicer to engage them. Is that going to be a formation group? Yeah, lovely. These guys can just come over here. I'm hoping that they'll largely be ignored. Oh, they're all going to be stationary anyway. That's actually brilliant. I'm happy with that. Oh, I'm really needing to wear the whistle. This is definitely going to be a bit of a shorter episode, I'm afraid. But an hour and 15 might be a bit too long anyway. We'll do a bit of experimentation across the series. Might want longer, shorter. We'll see what works for people. Since I know they're not pushing out, I'm not going to worry about running the rest of the west of the way. English. Would you believe me if I said it's my first language? I'm not entirely sure. I'm trying to pick out whereabouts their black pit crossbows are. So the unit I'm definitely the most worried about. So I think I sort of get it. They do have them. Right, they're over there. I want to keep my general away from them, that's for sure. So if you come over this way, you can shoot on the wargs. And be quite disrupted from their view. Slingers can come over here, support the unit of infantry. Let's just hide those guys for now because I don't know what to do with them. And you can support the general. These two are audacious lads doing their skullduggery. You can come over that way. Always feel like a real cheeky lad when I remember that the waypoints exist. One of the nice features of EUR, this is one of the EUP scripts written by Chris. You can actually fast forward it with more modularity and go faster. Very nice feature. Now I appreciate that I spam click that button there, but you can use the faster one. Who are you being shot by? Everyone! You've been shot by everyone. Right, start running you up then. But the black pit crossbows still wouldn't have had the greatest shot, at least. That was the main objective. You guys can start running as well. We've not got the greatest stamina, I'm pretty sure, so that's why I'm happy for everyone to walk for the most part. I want to get in proper battle stuff territory with the jabs. We've got high enough armor that their arrows aren't going to do too much damage. But if we get good volleys off, we will get loads of kills. Those crossbows would have been more of a problem, but they're not direct line of fire firing, so I think we're safe enough. Form up and do some javelin damage. Sorry, I'm just going to mute my microphone a second and cough.
Mic off. Mic on.
Alright, let's get these guys firing. Apologies for the bit of unprofessionalism. Right, let's get these guys in position. Yeah. We'll get loads more kills doing that than they'll get shooting us. I'll say that. Yeah, we are winning on percentage killed. Let's fire on those black pit crossbows. Give everyone a moment to recover. These guys, let's just charge them in. They're quite aggressive. I'll make the most of that. That orc is having the time of his life in that spot. Or are they going to be able to get good shots in now, those black pit crossbows? I don't. Those front ones might, but see, might be right. I still reckon we use the javelins. Let's just engage the crossbows though. Get these guys involved as well. So far we're doing pretty well. The people who are dying, I don't want to die. And to be honest, as long as we don't lose the general, does it really matter if some orcs die? Like, dude, these Crag snagger maulers, the Cragger snagger jewelers, crack maulers, do they matter? I think not. It'll be interesting to see how they fare against this Black Pit infantry. Oh, their armor's been nerfed a lot. So the entire roster of the orcs, well, every faction in the game's been entirely rebalanced compared to DAC. So don't necessarily approach this with DAC numbers in mind, because they won't necessarily add up. I've had it on 0.5% speed this entire time. Sorry about that. I genuinely did not realise. I think those Black Pit infantry are going to slaughter these blue Crags. I think that's a bit of a non-starter there, but they should trade well value-wise, hopefully. Hopefully, at least. If you're wondering why these don't have the more iconic Moria look, I'm assuming it's an armor downgrade, and then they have the full Moria regalia with the plate that everyone knows from the movies with an upgrade. And who doesn't love an armor upgrade at the end of the day? I see that as only being a good thing. Yeah, get stuck right in there, lads. Are you guys actually losing this? I'm going to give you some close range fire support. They're very tired. That is not good. Seeing arced mortar style shots for a slinger seems so weird and cursed. But again, hits in. We'll just drop a couple of bodies like that. How are these guys doing? Oh, you're doing alright. These are one of the better units in our early game roster, I believe, so they should do well. And they're collecting some fresh pelts as well, which is perfect. It makes sense. It is actually quite amusing, though, in hindsight. They must be wearing the baby wogs. Just comparing the size of their heads to the actual warg heads, like fits in the jaws. I didn't realise how big wargs actually are. Quite funny, actually. I think this is the old warg model as well that's been brought back with some fresh textures. I think Louis Lux did those as well. There's a lot of stuff from Louis Lux in this mod. He's been quite a big supporter of EUR. He's done a good job. He makes very high quality stuff. But I believe we're winning this melee. This one, we'll see who comes out on top here. I'm not holding out hope. But we are killing them. I think they've lost like 40, we've lost about 70. Not the greatest KD, but we can't really get our numbers to bear there. We're doing better here now that we've had the archer support. What we're going to do, these guys can come over there, let's take skirmish mode off, and they can hit those Black Pit infantry. Fantastic, that's what we wanted. Everyone we capture, we don't have to kill. And now their lines are falling. You can start getting some of those flanks off. I'll say that and I just completely lied. I can't get any flank off in that position. But we're closer to getting a flank off. And relieving some of our forces which are struggling a bit more. Not that these guys over here are struggling, they're just kicking ass. Kicking ass and taking names. Goblin names. Probably awful names. These are the inferior goblins, they're the Moria ones. I have a feeling that our orcs are meant to be less numerous but stronger. But certainly less numerous over here. This isn't. Yeah, we're definitely losing that engagement. But bit of close air support, artillery support. This will be fine. Look at that. Nice, that's good. So, there we go. Yeah, they're getting some good kills in. That's going to flip the balance quite heavily there. But even so, given that this is a tier 1 unit against a, I think, tier 3, they've not traded terribly. I can't be mad about that performance. Just keep pelting them with rocks. The more we kill, the less we have to kill back here. Okay. These guys, they redeemed themselves in the retreat. When to push forward. Well, they didn't perform that bad, did they? Like, yeah, they didn't perform well. But given the disparity in status, what could you expect, eh? We're definitely winning here. I think we've probably reached a point where the slingers need to stop firing. We'll do more harm than good. But we beat each front. This definitely would say it's a success. I reckon man of the match is going to be going to either the General or the Wag Warriors. I was actually surprisingly close with my shit posting suggestion there of Wag Warriors. But yeah, this is. I've now had the idea that it'd be really cool just seeing how big those fucking wargs are. Imagine seeing a troll wearing a fucking warg like that. Sorry, excuse my French. I've got a bit of a point now. But that would look really cool, like a full-size warg head, just yeah, worn in a similar style, but then more like a Velite-style cape sort of thing, because the troll's bigger. Or I don't know, maybe like some sort of baby grow onesie thing. Anything could work. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. It's easy for me to say this when I don't do any modelling. Yeah. So whilst we just wait for this to end, let's speed it up a little bit. I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about EOP. So EOP is a project that's made predominantly by Finn and Medic. Let's have a to up my tangent, just look at the results. Yeah, we lost a couple of men. It's fine. It just means we don't have to pay them, which that's an absolute win. As expected, the General smashed it, and the Wild Warriors as well. The worst perform. Did I have a unit I just didn't use? I did. Yeah. Of course. Oh well, we had plenty of manpower. It was fine. I was keeping them in reserve strategically, I'm sure. Yeah. Even the maulers who got mauled, they did all right. So yeah, EOP mod. Well, it's kind of like a modest tool, effectively made by Finn and Medic and a couple of other people. I think Jojo's involved, Dinar Mayer, and Yanoi. I don't actually know how his name's pronounced. But yeah, it breaks a load of the engine limits. So when Med 2 runs, basically a load of data and code gets injected into the mod by EOP or like into Medieval 2. It breaks a load of limits and adds a load of extra cool scripting stuff we can do. So there's custom UI elements that you were seeing earlier, and some of the blue Crag scripts that are going to be up and coming. They couldn't be done natively in Med 2, they're only possible with EOP. And it does stuff like breaking the general unit size limit and so on. It's hard coded in Med 2 that the general can only have up to 78 models, but with EOP it can be anything over that. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that it does. Do I want to occupy? We're going to occupy. There we go. And we're already closer to making money. Sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking there. I can't sit still. I reckon that. So this is the global recruitment menu. I haven't actually tested this yet, but I think it works as simply right click to add to local queue. So I think I've queued that in Crag now. That is a really, Chris is very clever with what he can make work in EOP. I might play that. And then these are global recruiting, which I don't actually know what that does, in all honesty. It either makes the units and then tells them to move to this settlement, from Raftarag or wherever they've been recruited from, or it makes the unit in Amanlun but takes the manpower from Raftarag. It's one of the two. We'll experiment in the future. I don't feel the need to use that mechanic right now, because I want my units to be in Raftarag anyway. What I actually wanted to do was open this settlement details. Our culture isn't the strongest, so we'll probably go for the Shrine of Melkor. Or do I want roads first? I'm gonna go for roads first. I feel like that's cool. The besieging up there. We got the manpower to move on here, arguably. I reckon we can move on to the next settlement.
No sleeping here.
Leave behind the weakest unit. This actually, that wouldn't be those guys. Be those. I quite like those Rag warriors. That plus that you can see there is the auto replenishment that's built into a EUR. Oh, actually, I've used most of my movement. I'll wait one turn, so I get a little bit of replenishment in. So if I hover over that, it says that the replenishment is 2%, and that means that unit will replenish by 2% of its unit size whilst it's in the settlement. There are some modifiers. The only one that I found is you get an extra plus 1% from having roads, so that's really beneficial. So yeah. Oh, this is one of our long-term scripts. We want to move towards Ered Luin and capture foreign tools, where we'll be able to join forces with the Balrog. Don't think too much of it. Yeah. Balrogs are cool. Just don't think about the lore. It's fine. Sometimes with EUR, it's best to switch it off. Switch your brain off a little bit and just think about, yeah, this is a fun feature. It's good for the players.
No sleeping here.
But jokes aside, they do play it a little bit loosely with the lore. Yeah, but I think it plays in their interest, in all honesty. I'm going to end the turn. I don't think there's anything more we need. Oh, recruitment. Almost forgot. And diplomat. I almost forgot everything. We're just going to recruit everyone. And the diplomat. I want to find an Edwaith. I didn't actually find him at all in the last episode. Well, I say in the last episode, in the last attempt to this campaign. Thrall's Head. I got that immediately last time as well, so I'm assuming he just gets given that as part of the script. Yeah, that's one hell of a statement, having that as just casually. I feel like his head would be a bit more shriveled up by now, though, or rotting a little bit. He died a while ago, but it's cool ancillary. So those reinforcements, I'm just going to keep there because I don't really know what I want to do with them, in all honesty.
Get ready for fighting.
But I can use this potentially as an opportunity. Oh, it's there. So this is how the upgrade script that Chris is in works, where this is my base unit, the Crag Snagger Skirmishers. I'll get used to saying that eventually, and I could potentially upgrade them to the next tier of units. So, for 2 experience, I don't know if it resets the experience on the upgrade yet. I haven't actually used it yet, but I can change these to be a unit of, say, Maulers. And then if I press this for 70 gold, it will change my unit to that. And then the Maulers can turn into any of these units. The Tarag Halberds would be quite useful, swordsman even. But then it shows a different path for each of these. It's a very cool feature. So yeah. But it's not something that we need to mess about with right now. I think I want to put you guys in that fort. So just a little bit closer to where we want them to be. So I've got a little bit of a plan. A little bit. Or where I want to go. So yeah. Successful start so far, I'd say. Got 1 settlement under our belts. Oh. We're recruiting. We're about to take Duilond. I'm sieging this one out intentionally because that's they got some beefy units there, really. I think it'd be easier to take it on a sally out. especially from where it is a town, and Buswardham's a nightmare map to fight on, I think.
Get ready for fighting. Kill them all.
But this one we can definitely do. Let's auto-save using that nice little auto-save feature. And head straight on in. A lot of cool artwork in the loading screens now. Alright, start deployment. We're going to smash on. So in terms of what's new here, we've seen the Crag goblins. And then these guys, they're the same basic format. But they, you know, just dual sword units instead. It looks like they've actually got swords made of bone, which that's quite a cool stylistic choice. I'm not going to speak on the practicalities of a sword made of bone. I'm sure you can imagine that's basically more of a club. I've just spoken on the practicalities of it. Yeah, it's completely impractical. But stylistically, it's cool. I need to put my historical realism boner aside. Just appreciate it for what it is. And that is, it's a cool unit. Right, so you can go over there. I reckon that you can go over here with the skirmishers. I will put the wolves right on the flank as well. I'll tell you what, you guys, you can join the wolves. I haven't seen the wolves yet either. These are cool. I really like the model. I don't know where it's come from, but it looks really nice. They're very, very wolfy. Very growly wolves. Right. So let's start the battle. So we've got the slingers here. They look unsupported. Let's just charge them. The sooner that we get them shut down, the better. Pop those two there. These guys, I don't want to do much until I've broken them. Oh, I'm so glad you stopped there. That's so convenient. As you try and decide, because the unit is broken. There you go. Alright, now that they've stopped them firing, you guys just rush on in. They seem to have completely derped out, bless them. But I'm not going to complain.
The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
Right, so these guys, they're the... I'm assuming they're like a low, high damage, no AP sort of unit. Yeah. Get these guys in there first. And then once they've taken the engagement, get these guys in. There you go. On kind of a flank. They didn't really charge as I had pictured them charging, in all honesty. But here, they tried their best. These guys are about to break, it looks like, potentially, which is good. So far, this is going pretty well according to plan. These guys just derp down. I've always found that the AI struggles with villages. That's another thing that EOP does. It does have a new AI, so it is smarter. This isn't the greatest example of it, but I promise it is smarter, particularly on the campaign map. So it'll do a lot of interesting things, like it will value your settlements based on how well defended they are, as well as how much money they make. And it'll actually target your inland settlements as well. So say you have a settlement on the outskirts with a full stack on it, worth 1,000 gold, but Minas Tirith is sat right behind it with no garrison for 10,000 gold. It'll go around your outer city and attack there. So it's more engaging to play with than the old AI. And it'll try and team up with its allies more and make better use of naval invasions. Oh, you made it all the way in there. Go and get some kills. Oh. Go on, you can take him. Surely you can take it. Avenge your buddy. Ah. Oh. That was actually a bit of a letdown. Oh. General kill's always nice. I don't know where we killed him, but nice. Assuming it was this dude here. Oh, actually, no, you charge those slingers. They're really a pain in the ass. And you come here. There's no way through there. To intercept these guys because they've treated it a very unfortunate path for them. They got another unit of slingers. Oh, it says 44 slingers there.
Victory will be ours.
But I still think that was worth doing to shut down those guys. You guys come and attack there. Our units will be tired, but I just think it's good to get stuck in there. I don't want to try and protect that wall since we can't actually recruit any cavalry at the moment. Where they seem to be absolutely shredding these slingers. What are their stats like? Okay, so not ridiculously high. But I think that these slingers are just sucking melee. Yeah. As they should. Alright, so those guys have been affected. Charging there. I don't think you're actually throwing anything. So you can get a little bit closer. It's good that they broke. I'm throwing a couple jabs. Wonder if I can get these guys pulled through here. They'll have a bit of a better firing angle then. Or they would just break. This is the one problem with larger unit sizes. It can be a bit of a nightmare moving stuff about. There you go. Can you guys get that? That would be good. Put them in guard mode just in case anyone was caught. And then by the time they're in position, we'll have won the battle, probably. This way. These guys are beginning to fold a little bit, it seems. So I should have known that was going to happen. Really fire. Yeah, good volley off. Good money shot. Very nice. I don't think they've got a ton of kills, but they're doing damage. Missiles down these. Yeah, 3 missile attack. That's a pretty weak javelin, but a javelin's a javelin at the end of the day. Still, it's definitely got some. Firing into the backs as well. It's just a perfect angle, really. It's a shame there isn't our beastly javelins in the other army or that bodyguard. But can't have everything in life. To be fair, I say beastly quite loosely as well. And a few of you might have been one of the ones who watched my Dale campaign, which did 2 episodes and I haven't touched it in a month. That is still ongoing. In regards to the timing, all I have to say is that a wizard is never late. He always arrives precisely when he means to, and I won't elaborate beyond that. Unfortunately, a Company of Heroes phase set in, and that was quite distracting. But I have recorded episode 3. I just haven't posted it yet. It's kind of terrible. It's not really much of an excuse, is it? Like, oh yeah, I've done the long bit. I just haven't done the quick bit. I'm very good at this YouTube stuff. Yeah, and it'll get posted. Just not been feeling meant to as much, but I know there's been a lot of projects on. Between work modding on Gondor at War, Company of Heroes phase, I work full time. I've got apprenticeship, training stuff. It's just also a circus performer. Or a fire sword recently. That's been good fun. If you'd like to see any fire sword stuff, then I can potentially post a little real life video of how that looks. Also a swordsman. Just to knock random hobbies whilst I wait for this now. Well, I'm still not thinking about fast forwarding it. I'll do anything to fill time apart from reduce the amount of time it seems. Yeah, I've got a couple of random hobbies sticking about. General came in clutch. The wolves did really well. They seem really strong, especially for chasing down archers. I'm happy with them. Yeah, the axemen didn't do as much, but they still traded well. I suppose there wasn't really as much for them to do because the iron axes just absolutely shredded everything. So yeah, it's a good spot to be in. We'll probably be making money now. I must admit, this has actually gone better than my first attempt. Yeah, first attempt went well, but I didn't discover that settlement to the south. I went further on east. I just had to do the old never eat shredded wheat in my head then for a second. And yeah, I completely skipped it and then went back to it afterwards. Whereas this makes more sense. And it wasn't metagaming because of the mission that revealed it before I revealed it through metagaming, so it all just works out. And yeah, this has been enjoyable. Even just doing this for literally the second time in the last 2 or 3 hours, I'm still having a good time playing through this early game. It's a nice change of pace. I'm enjoying the new roster, starting somewhere new. The fact that it is unique geography that I haven't seen before. It's cool. I like it. I'm going to exterminate as well because it's a filthy elven village. There you go. Done. And we are making money. I'm going to get that Shrine of Melkor that I talked about because this is another thing which is nice, which I didn't notice before. It actually shows our culture is 5%. And if I check in settlement details, yeah, 5%. Although, fully knowing that that's there, I will use it probably once every 5 times that I go to check it, just because of how used to I am using the other one. But you know, it's the fort that counts. Fort that counts, and it's a nice fort that it is there. So everywhere's building. I feel like I've not done enough turns. I'm half tempted to end it here, just to save my voice a little bit. And it probably has been the best part of 40 minutes. We'll do one more turn. And then we'll call it. So, the game plan for next episode. I'll say this fully knowing it's going to be a short turn. Because I'm not doing that much. We'll siege Albers with them. That's got 2 more turns. Yeah, no, because I'm scared of trolls. That's it. And mountain guards. There's just 2 strong units there. We're going to keep trying to find an Edwife. I'm hoping to get an alliance with them simply because I hate fighting an Edwife. And I don't need to elaborate on that. Jabs are annoying are everywhere. Just, no thank you. And also I think we're going to have our work cut out for us with Eriador hating us. We're already at war with Linden. And we do border them, so I'm expecting them to come and knocking at some point. But preferably not yet. We need to keep expanding out through here. There's a couple of stuff around these mountain regions. I think there's a settlement around here that we want to take. And then I had one around... Oh, I think that's... Yeah, we can see it there. So we want to take Hardener Hearing. We want to take that one. We got Amonluin. Forgive any terrible pronunciation. Dwillond. I believe Dwillond is also from Lotro. That's a nice little reference if it is. I don't think it's in Dak either. There might be a settlement around there. I don't really know what's in... I just don't really know. This side of the map is normally so boring that I try and avoid it. But this extra evil faction definitely spices it up a bit. So this may have been only 4 turns, but I feel like I've done a ton of talking. We've introduced the campaign quite nicely and looked at some of the unique scripts we got moving forward. I can just show you the general bodyguard. Potentially. Global recruitment. I can't remember. There's a bodyguard upgrade script, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I remember how to activate it. So I think you need to be in a settlement. I'll find out for episode 2. Maybe episode 3. We'll see. I'll find out. Some point in the future. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff to show that's been implemented. And we've got many slaughter. We've only been slaughtering orcs so far. We've still got elves, men, dwarves. Everyone catches these hands. But they'll be catching these hands in the future, because this will be the end of this episode. So if I'm just going to hit save, we're going to go Crag episode 2. This was the end of my first attempt at recording. There we go. So thank you all for watching. I hope you had a great time. If you have any thoughts about whether we should go for the Dour Hand choice or the Orc choice, then feel free to let me know, because at the moment I have no idea what I want to do, in all honesty. We'll have to wait and see. So, it's been a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your evenings or days, nights, whatever time it is. I don't know. Just have a good time. Right. Take care and goodbye.